Underdog. Welcome to your favorite pop culture drama podcast, the Underdog Podcast. Today is Monday, July 27th, and we have a good one for you.
Today's podcast is presented by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way for you to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters with a flat rate for ad space so you always know how much you get when you include an ad from Podgo. I recently joined as a member, and you can too. Apply today to become a member and immediately be connected with advertisers that fit your audience. That's podgo.co at podgo.co.
All right. Josh, how are you doing today?
Today's good. I was very boring day. I didn't do much, but one thing that I did do was I did a workout today. Today was chest day, so I got into that. I don't have a bench press, but I was doing makeshift bench stuff with some of my dumbbells and whatnot, push-ups here and there, and then just dumbbell bench stuff, flies and whatnot. So, exciting thing today, really.
Nice. And Oree.
Yeah, I came back from my trip, which is why I actually missed the last podcast. So I came back yesterday night, and then today I was just kind of chilling at home. I was able to play a little bit of baseball. But other than that, I've been chilling. Tomorrow, I'm probably going to lose like 5 pounds because I'm going to finally cut my hair. Which, I mean, it's getting pretty long. So
How you growing out the man bun like I got going?
Well, look, all right. So the problem is I need to have, like, you have good hair for the man one because you have long hair in the front. I just have long hair everywhere. And I did some math, and at the rate my hair grows, I'll need like 3 more months to get a man bun. That actually looks good. And I'm not looking like this for another 3 more months. I'm sorry. I can't do it.
All right, I was in Tennessee and then Asheville for a while, but I'm back, got back last night, so we're all back in our regular spots. But we got baseball this week, and we got some huge news. I'm going to read off new start to the podcast. Going to read off 5-6 headlines that we got this weekend, and we're all going to vote on which one is our favorite. All right, so I'll start off with Anthony Rizzo gives out hand sanitizer to a runner on first base. The Redskins don't change their name. Zion rejoins the bubble. Lou Williams was spotted at a club after leaving the bubble with Jack Harlow, the rapper. Ben Simmons sees a psychiatrist about shooting three-pointers to help with his mental game. And Pirates manager gets ejected and argues with the umpire while wearing a mask and socially distancing. Boys, what's your favorite big headline of the week?
For me, I'd have to go with the Lou Williams one. I mean, he leaves the bubble for an apparent family emergency and then is seen at a gentleman's club with a rapper. And then afterwards said, "Stop tweeting about it. I've moved past it. Stop making memes." Wow.
That's a good one. My favorite one is the Redskins. You know, could they be any worse of an organization? I mean, if you thought changing their name, at least they did that. But they messed that up too. You thought they did something right when they said they're going to change their name. Well, no, they fucked that up too. It's so funny. At this point, it's comical how bad they are. Eli, what was yours?
My favorite was probably the Pirates manager. It was hilarious. He goes out to argue with him. They both take a break, put on their masks, and then they go at each other from 6 feet away. It was great. I've never seen anything like it. Normally they're being held back, trying not to push the umpire over, but this situation, they were what's it called? They were 6 feet away, being super safe. Speaking of baseball, first week of baseball, opening day, and your Orioles, how they do? What are you feeling?
Well, opening day was not the greatest for the Orioles. We lost 13-2 to the Red Sox. We allowed 17 hits. It was pretty ugly. But the bright side is the next two games we played, we won. We won 7-2 and 7-4. My favorite thing that kind of came out of that series was the headline for 7-4 win is Wade LeBlanc has a good pitching debut, a solid pitching debut, and he let 4 runs in 5 innings. So that shows you kind of like the level the Orioles are at right now. A good debut is 5 innings, 4 runs. I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, not too good of an opening day. Definitely got better. So yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with how it began.
When was the last time the Orioles had a winning record?
It was a long time ago. I'll look it up. I'll get back to you. So I mean, but hey, right now we're 2-1. I'm feeling really good. All we gotta do is keep this going. We'd be 20-10, and then 40-20. I'm pretty sure that would give us a playoff spot.
Pretty good.
So
it's pretty good. I'll take it.
Can't complain.
And then my Nationals, right before opening day, we had Juan Soto get the virus, which I actually think was a false positive because he already tested negative yesterday. So that's still developing. We'll look at that the next couple hours, days, weeks. And their opening day was not great. Scherzer kind of got rocked. Oree kind of suspected that. Oree said that Scherzer wasn't going to be that good. But it's only one game. So we didn't have a great opening day, and then we bounced back the day after. And then today, we were in control. Corbin was dealing. And then at the end, his last batter, he let up a solo shot, and our bullpen started to blow it. But it was a couple mistakes, but we really had the game in control. Really frustrating. I was listening to it on the radio. And then at the end, we had a runner on second, 1 out, I want to say. And then he overslid third base on a steal. And then that was just downhill from there. So we're 1-2 right now. Not too sharp on it. Or is there any big takeaways you have from this opening week, whether it's the effect of the virus or anything surrounding that?
Well, it's actually interesting that you bring that up because I thought because of the virus and, hitters wouldn't have as much time to adjust, I thought scoring would be down. But for the Orioles specifically, you see a massive amount of runs scored in every game. The lowest amount of total runs scored was 9. So I thought that was really interesting to see how much hitters were, they're kind of ahead of pitchers right now. You saw Scherzer get rocked against the Yankees, which might be more due to the fact that Scherzer's not as good as he used to be. But but that's what I had to take away from it. Did you take away anything?
Yeah, I mean, I saw the same thing as you did with hitters just surprisingly being very good. And another thing I saw Kluber got injured, Verlander. Pitchers are not as durable. I don't think they had as much bullpens, as much live ABs in spring training and stuff. And I think it's kind of affecting their arms and their bodies. So it does seem like it might be a bit of an injury-prone season. But I will say I will hop into it a little bit more in depth when I get to my clip. We got a lot of things this episode. We'll talk about a lot of fights. Mike Tyson fight announced. Pat McAfee fight happened. We on this day with the Cliff. We got a lot of music stuff, Twitter takes, animal sound, all that stuff. Something we want to do with the MLB was a pick 'em. Each week we're gonna each pick a team to win for Wednesdays. So we'll pick this week's Wednesday. Me, Oree, and Josh all pick the team, and whoever gets the most wins at points at the end of the season wins. So, Josh, why don't you give your pick first?
All right. So, as y'all know, I'm not the biggest baseball guy. I don't really know too much.
Could be the underdog.
I picked the Yankees over Phillies. Yankees have a stacked team. They went 2-1 in this series against the reigning national champs, and Phillies. Bryce Harper, I think, will continue a slump from last year. And, yeah, it's my pick.
All right, Oree.
Yeah, so, I could have gone boring, right? There's a few matchups here that are probably locks, but guess what? I'm not boring. I'm taking the Orioles. We're going to beat the Marlins 5-1.
That's like they're one of the worst teams in the league. Speaking of the worst teams in the league, my team's going to beat them too. I got the Brewers over the Pirates on Wednesday. So those are our picks for who for our pick'em, for our MLB pick'em, and we'll keep track of that as the season goes along. Josh, why don't you give us your on this day in history?
All right. On this day in history, July 27th, and I forget what year it was said, but whenever Richard Nixon was president, he got impeached by the House. So, as many of you, I assume, know, he got in a scandal for like trying to steal information from the opposite party's presidential election and got impeached. So that was this day in history. The House impeached him. So he wasn't fully impeached, but he was like semi-impeached, like Trump
No, he was impeached. He just wasn't thrown out of office.
Yeah, he later resigned.
Oh, yeah. All right, cool. Let's hop into the cliff.
The cliff.
All right, guys. So right now we're going to be hitting the cliff. Start off, I'll go. So my risers for the week is the NBA. I know I've been very back and forth with NBA and NFL for my risers and fallers the past couple weeks, but for good reason. I mean, NBA bubble's happening. They're going to start scrimmages in 5 days. Or they're doing scrimmages now. They're going to start the actual season in 5 days. So
Josh,
it's actually
what is happening? You're like, shh.
It's actual sports that are back, which is good. No offense to golf and NASCAR. And yes, that's my riser for the week. Should I go followers too, or do you guys want to do risers?
How many
first?
followers do you have?
I have 2.
All right. Let's just run through all the climbers. Or why don't you hit your climbers?
All right, yeah. So my climber is the Yankees. We were talking about baseball earlier. Yankees are my climbers for a few reasons. Number one being they don't have any injuries, which is actually super new for them, something they don't really know how to do. But they actually didn't have any injuries. And also, not the emergence of Giancarlo Stanton, but the resurgence of Giancarlo Stanton. He looks really good. Already pimped, I think, 2 or 3 home runs.
2 over 4.
2, yeah, 2 home runs. He looks absolutely incredible. Lights out. Still very muscular. So yeah, that's my.
It's been 3 games.
Yeah, but he's hit 2 homers over
It's been 3 games. Chill out.
No,
but
I'm buying. I'm buying it.
I don't want to buy into it, dude. His swing is like.
It's beautiful. He looks so smooth. He looks so smooth.
No, it's not smooth at all. It's like a hitch. Look, he's literally like so close. It's just. It's so.
Yeah, because he's got.
If it works, it works.
480-foot bomb. You can't touch his swing. His swing, it works. I'm buying into
It's
Carlos.
not smooth, though.
I don't even care.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
It's a good point. All right, my rise of the week. So, number 1 is Buffalo. Buffalo got a baseball team. I misspoke. I said that the Blue Jays were going to Pittsburgh, but they're actually just – after we did the podcast, they officially are in Buffalo, which I think is going to be great because Bills Mafia is sick, and they'll go crazy for any sport. So I think it'll be really some good stuff. With Corona, whatever, they're going to be out there partying for your Buffalo Blue Jays, I guess. I don't know. And I know the Nats and Orioles both will play them, 20 times this year? I don't know. A lot.
Yeah.
And my second riser?
Isn't it a 60-game season?
Yeah, 60-game season. No, it's probably like 10 games. I don't know. And my other riser is cardboard fans. These guys are sick. Have you seen them in the baseball stands?
Oh,
pay
shit.
for it,
Yeah.
and you get your whole thing up there. I don't think the Nats have been doing it, but I saw it in Dodgers, Philly, a ton of places, and it looked sick. I would love to get my face on there.
I'm pretty sure they had fans send in their cardboard cutouts.
You guys send in your own cardboard cutout.
Yeah.
Oh my, that's so weird.
I would totally do it.
I would do it in a heartbeat, though. Yeah,
I'd be the only fan.
Hey, I was about to say you'd probably be the only one sending in. Imagine how bad it would be if someone got hit. If a baseball player just went right through it, and it's your face, and you're just watching the game, and you just see a ball go through your face, and you're like,
that'd be tough though. You get so much more publicity.
Yeah, but then you'd have to pay for a whole new cardboard.
Wait, you didn't see it? One of the players, they had 3 of their dogs cardboard cutouts in right field, and one of their dogs got hit by a home run.
Actually,
Yeah, you didn't see that?
no, I didn't. That's
Oh,
awesome.
it was so funny. I forgot the game, but it was
Was
hilarious.
it his own home run?
Yeah, it was on a home run.
No, but like,
Oh,
was it the owner's home run?
like the dog owner's home run.
Oh, no. But it was his team.
That would
That
be
would be
funny.
sick.
That would be so fun.
There's just so much potential with these. Like, imagine if like baseball players just like with the fans in the front row just take markers and just start like drawing mustaches and all this stuff on them. I feel like that'd be so funny.
Yeah.
So they're my rise. Then I'll just give my follower. So I think this is like the 6th time this guy's been our follower, but Rob Manfred. Bro, I was thinking about it as I was on my car ride. I was like, bro, how dumb is he? First of all, he released a whole new playoff format, which we're not going to get into because it's whatever. He released it the minute before the first pitch of the season. Like, what? That didn't make any sense.
Why is that bad?
You release a whole new playoff for this season a minute before opening day. Have you ever seen that done before?
I mean, you have to do it eventually, and it's better.
Yeah, do it earlier.
Yeah, you had the whole
Do it a month before the season. You had the whole freaking summer.
I mean, I guess it was like the NFL. Like, they don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, but they figure out before the first minute before kickoff. Right? Like, that's just dumb. And then the other thing, like, oh my God, the fact that they're going to be hopping on planes, like, the fact that they're not in a bubble just literally pains me. That makes no sense. Like, even if the bubble was as big as, like, all of California, but everybody played in California, that would be somewhat better. Like, it just – why would they not bubble? Because a player can literally just go to the stadium, interact with 200 people, then go home, go out to eat, go to a concert, get the virus, come back, and infect everybody, and the whole season's shut down.
They obviously have some guidelines. Like,
No.
they're not going to be allowed to go to fucking concerts. Like, obviously, maybe order dinner or something. Like, they're not going to keep them on house arrest, but you're not going to be able to, like, just go out wherever you want.
They can't monitor
20 years old. Like, I don't – it's just stupid to me. Like, why wouldn't they just bubble? Why wouldn't they just go
because it's so much bigger and so much harder than it is for the NBA because they have that many more people. And it's also their whole, like, league. It's not just 12 teams or whatever the
That
NBA
makes
is.
sense, but what if they just all went to Montana, had 3 ballparks there, just stayed in hotels, and then just played on those fields or something? Or, like, they just like they just shut it down to an entire state so that there'd be less flights and less people to interact with. I just feel like they could have done.
You're not just gonna shut down a state for
No, you wouldn't shut down the state, but you would make it so that, like, so let's say like DC becomes a hotspot. Like, it wouldn't make sense because if DC's a hotspot, one person gets it, it could be over for the entire league because there's people flying around to 100 different places, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if they just went it to one state, it would all just be in that one spot. Like,
one, it's like too late for that right now because the season already started, and 2, like, you'd have to ask like hundreds of players to just uproot their life and go like with their families for 5 months, however long the season's going to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of stupid that they had kind of had no plan. And the other thing was all the managers are wearing masks, but then they hug and shake all their players' hands. It doesn't make sense to me. So then my other guy on the cliff is Fauci. So I know Josh has him on his cliff too. I think he's gonna talk about one thing that we had argued with our friends for like
3 hours, 2 hours, an hour.
We're not getting into that again. But my reason he's the faller is because his first pitch, oh my gosh.
Jeez.
Fucking cannonball just went whoop and then just chucked it into the first baseline. It was so bad. But
he's a scientist, he doesn't know how to throw.
What?
He's a scientist, he doesn't know how to throw a baseball.
He doesn't even have like half of a range of motion. He can only go back here.
So my followers for the week. So as Eli said, I have Dr. Fauci, however you pronounce his name. So
Fauci.
Fauci. There are pictures seen of him in the stands with his wife and a third person who I assume he's close with, or else he wouldn't have done this. But he was
Ah,
in the stands, like 3 of them in a row, and he had his mask off. He said to get water, but it was a bit longer than just a sip. We're not gonna get
I'm
into
not
this
getting into it.
of it.
I'm
I
not doing
thought
it.
it was all right. We're just gonna avoid the conversation. But he's my follower of the week. Everyone's kind of shitting on him now. I think wrongfully, but and then my second follower of the week is Aldrich Rosas, the ex-Giants kicker. So he was the Giants kicker the past 2 years, Pro Bowler too, and got arrested for hit and run. Right?
Let's get into this a little bit. I'm down to rabbit hole a little bit. Keep explaining the situation though.
All right. So he got arrested for, I believe, a hit and run, and that was last week. And obviously,
Last month.
everyone. I thought it was last week.
No, it was a month ago.
Oh, so everyone obviously speculated that the Giants were going to release him. They finally did this week, and then they signed the Jets' old kicker,
Yes.
Harris Cutler or something.
I think it's color. I think it was CC or something like that.
Yeah.
So they had him report to training camp for a day or two, and then they just cut him. I thought that was a little bit weird. The other thing that's kind of just unknown is that the whole Baker situation, because that also has to do with laws and stuff, and who knows what's going to happen with that. We'll get into that when that comes around. And third of all, what do you think about the idea of them not signing Gostkowski, the kicker for Joe Judge, who was the special teams coach with the Patriots, basically the majority of Gostkowski's career with them? What do you think of them not signing him instead?
I mean, obviously that was Judge's choice. Obviously, if he wanted him, he would have gotten him. He's a free agent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, he's definitely one of the older guys in the league. I think he was, 43, 44?
He's older, and just for some context, he's coming off of a big surgery, so.
Yeah, so I mean, coming off of surgery, one of the older guys in the league, you're not going to want those two added up when you can get a younger guy that, one, you can have for longer, and two, probably a bit cheaper.
So you're good with the move?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. At first, I was like, yo, why did they not sign Gostkowski? It's perfect chemistry and stuff. But first of all, I don't know how much special teams Joe Judge will really be doing. And second of all, older doesn't really make sense. So, yeah, it's kind of my opinion on that. Or do you have any opinion on that?
I mean, I would have said, they probably should have signed him. But if he's coming off in major surgery and, as you guys have mentioned, he's one of the older guys, I would agree. It's better to get a younger guy who has more potential, more upside, where, Gostkowski is going on the decline.
Yeah. All right, Oree, why don't you give your followers of the week?
Yeah, so my follower of the week is Max Scherzer. We talked about him. I talked about him. I called it. I said he wasn't going to be good opening day. And what happened? I wouldn't say he got lit up, but he got hit around.
Hey,
and he allowed 4 runs. The game was cut short, but he would have let more if he stayed. I could tell. He didn't have his stuff. He wasn't locating. His movement on his pitches were still really, really good, but he just missed his spots too often, and Yankees hitters capitalized on those mistakes. He didn't pitch well. He needs to pick it up very soon because he is definitely the leader of that rotation, the leader of that whole pitching staff. So we'll see what happens with him and if he can, bounce back.
What could be more 2020 than opening day with 4 million people watching get rained out?
Yeah, seriously.
What could be more 2020 than that?
It was actually I could not believe it when it was game is off. I was like, oh my goodness.
I was kind of shocked by that because, excuse me, I was shocked by that because I thought 60-game season, they're trying to get the season done before November. I thought that every rain delay, I feel like they're going to have to wait out and try to play because there's not that many days where you can really make up games.
Yeah, I mean, they called that game. They're not going to make that up. I think what they should do is just once there's a rain delay over, I don't know, hour and a half, just call the game. I don't care what inning it was. Just call it.
I
I mean,
disagree. I think
you can't
wait
have
out the night.
you can't have them rescheduling games. I mean, you
You
can't
can't
move the
reschedule
games. There's no
games,
days.
but you have to try to play it later in the night, even if it goes to early morning. I feel like you have to try to play it because, like, we played 6 innings. What if their bullpen gets lit up like today when the Nats bullpen got lit up? What if that game just got cut off after 6? We're 2-1.
Right. No, I mean, yeah, I think, especially when games matter so much more, obviously, because it's a shortened season, but they just don't have time to, make up the game. So if they're not going to wait that long, then they just have to call it. It's kind of an interesting line to, tiptoe around because you want to see the game. You want to see it finish. You want to see if the bullpen breaks down or not. But then again, you don't want to have teams have no rest days in the season where they have to play games that they already played halfway through.
Yeah.
Right. So, on that note, how about the Rushmores? So, this Rushmore is our Rushmore of NFL rivalries. However you want to interpret that, NFL rivalries.
Let's do it.
So, Oree, how about you go first?
Actually, no, I want to hear what Eli has to say.
All right, Eli, go for it.
All right. So this one might be controversial. You got to hear me out, though. Steelers, Browns. That's got the lowest spot because I think after the helmet hitting, that kind of really there's still bad blood there, I feel like, because he's saying he didn't say the N-word. He's saying he did. I don't know. It seems really, really sticky. So I think there's still bad blood there, and I think this could really become a really big rivalry as we go on 5 years from now. So I think that's my 4 spot. And then the other 3 I have are Giants, Eagles. Always a high intensity game every time. We got great memories, like when Steve Weatherford, it's not great for the Giants, but Steve Weatherford, instead of opting to kick it out of bounds, kicks it right to Deshaun Jackson, and he brings it to the house. Time expired.
Jake Elliott, 61-yard field goal.
Jake Elliott, 61.
Remember, you were at my house for that game. We were
remember
both,
that.
like, lying in the basement. We were just like, shit.
Dude, 61-yard field goal for a rookie kicker.
Third longest field goal in history.
Yeah, ridiculous. So, next one I got are Steelers Ravens. Always electric. Has always been electric. Or he can probably speak on that one. It's his turn.
Yeah,
And then
sure.
number one, or not number one necessarily, but Green Bay Bears. It's always a big rivalry. And then, yeah, that's my Rushmore of NFL rivalries.
All right. So for mine, I also have Ravens Steelers. That's always electric, as Eli said. There's a lot of bad blood between these two teams. They're usually always contending. Right now, the Steelers are, they're on the up and up. They could be contending this year. So I definitely have that. I have the Browns and Steelers. I think the helmet thing definitely makes that an extremely interesting rivalry that, as Eli said, can develop.
Question. Do you have, like, a memory or a moment that you remember between the Steelers-Ravens rivalry?
Oh, yes, I do, actually. I was watching obviously I watch all the Ravens games. And there was a time where we were on defense, and I'm pretty sure it was it might have been Ray Lewis. So this was a while ago. He came up behind Ben Roethlisberger, and before Ben Roethlisberger threw the ball, he knocked it away, so it was a fumble. And then scored the touchdown. We actually won that game. So, that's always a fun memory. Also, one time after a play had ended, one of the Ravens players actually was going to help up a Steelers player. He, put down his hand, and then right when the Steelers player was about to grab it, he pulled it away. I couldn't tell you which player that was, but that's also a fun moment. But yeah, other than that, the other 2 that I have are I really like to see the this might be a new rivalry. I don't really know how it's going to work. Tampa Bay versus the Patriots, just because of Brady. I don't know if it's going to be a rivalry. It might. I think it could be on the up and up. I have high hopes. If Brady can ball out, that'd be really funny. So I have that. And I have, for my last one, I have Redskins Giants. They're both horrible, which makes it comical, and I love it. So that's my Mount Rushmore rivalries for the NFL. What about you, Josh?
All right, so I also have Packers Bears, as Eli's have. I mean, one of the iconic rivalries in NFL history. All the Thanksgiving games and whatnot, and playing for playoff spots. So that's up there. And we all have different takes for the NFC East. Eli has Cowboys, Eagles, Giants. Oree has Redskins, Giants. I have Cowboys, Giants. I personally think that's the biggest rivalry for the Giants in the NFC East. We normally play them opening day. One of my biggest memories is back in the Tony Romo days. We're crushing them all around the board. Like, there's somehow still a close game, but we're dominating every facet of the game. And Tony Romo has a late drive and drives down the field and is in the red zone with 30 seconds to go and gets down 6-7 yard line, and then with 5 seconds left on the clock finds Jason Wynn in the end zone to win the game.
I remember that.
And God, that was week one. That was a rough game. Obviously the Beckham catch, and then just so many more. I also have
a long season after that.
Yeah. Also, I also have the Ravens Steelers. I think they'll be really good this year. Steelers defense is really good, and then the Ravens offense, obviously MVP Lamar Jackson. Then I have Lions Packers.
Lions.
The Hail Mary that
Rodgers
Rodgers threw, and just
that was a great play.
Their division rivals. And then this one is a bit different. Richard Sherman versus Michael Crabtree. So, as many know, Richard Sherman locked down Michael Crabtree to lead the Seahawks to the Super Bowl and had the famous interview. Don't try me with the sorry bum-ass receiver like Michael Crabtree. That's what you can get. That's the fucking result when you try me with the sorry-ass receiver. And, yeah. He went to Stanford. Everyone thinks he's a dumbass for just, having such a loud personality. He went to Stanford and had a 4.2 GPA. That's insane.
Damn. That's very high.
Yeah. So those are my rivalries.
All right, so that is our NFL Mount Rushmore of NFL rivalries. Speaking about fights, though, we had a little scuffle on the Pat McAfee show. So, for those who don't know, actually, who wants to explain it?
I can do it.
All right, let's hear it, Oree.
I mean, so the Pat McAfee show, if you guys don't listen to it, it's a podcast that obviously Pat McAfee is the host of, former punter for the Indianapolis Colts. And so basically he sometimes has guests on, sometimes it's just him and a few of the other guys on the podcast. And he had a guest on, and it became volatile very quickly. Josh, you saw the video, right?
Yeah.
And what'd you think about it?
So, I think it was personally staged. So, Adam Cole, a WWE former wrestler, was on the show getting interviewed, and Pat McAfee was making comments. He was saying, "Oh, you surround yourself with really good people, and that was a main part of why you're successful." And Adam Cole took it the wrong way, whether that was purposely because it was staged or accidentally. He was like, "Oh, you're saying I was only successful because I had other people around me?" And he was like, "No, you obviously did your part, but that was a big reason why."
It's business,
and he was like,
baby.
And he was trying to just compliment him, just you did great, but and you were did smart with surrounding people, just surrounding yourself with great people. And then he was getting frustrated. He was like, "How dare you bring me in and disrespect me?" He slaps the desk, goes up to him, like, "Fuck you!" And then some guy tries to sell it down. He pushes him, then storms out and starts breaking shit. So Oree thinks it's real. I personally think it's fake. I mean, it's a WWE guy. He obviously knows how to fake fight. But yeah.
So Oree thinks it's real. Josh thinks it's fake. I don't know. I'm so torn on it. Like, I watched this thing about it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, fake, fake, fake." But so
But
I
it's
don't
Pat McAfee. He seems like a genuine guy that wouldn't do this,
exactly. And if he does that, I feel like, oh, that's annoying.
that ruins his brand. You can't do that.
It doesn't ruin his brand, but it
I mean,
kind of.
it doesn't.
I don't like it.
I don't like it if it's fake. I mean,
I
think.
agree.
I mean, look, if it was a stunt, that's a incredible, super
Good acting,
entertaining
good
stunt.
acting.
But I personally wish it isn't. I hope it isn't. I don't think Josh mentioned Mans threw the mic like very
He broke the mic and the headset.
Yeah, and the headset. That thing must have cost a lot of money. I wonder if Pat McAfee sent him a bill or something. But that I just thought it was really funny. I don't think it's fake. I don't think it is.
I don't know. Josh, what makes you think it's fake?
I mean, just like he was complimenting him, and he just makes it like,
but like
so bad the wrong way, and he over exaggerated so much. Like
that's
if like you think like he's disrespecting you, you don't have to throw a fucking pissy fit and be like, "Oh my god, fuck you," like you brought in here to like disrespect me. Like, shut up. And he's a former WWE wrestler, like current WWE wrestler.
Yeah, that's why I was like, it seems fake. But then he slammed the microphone, and then he also
pushed the guy.
What?
He pushed one of the people.
Yeah, he pushed not Diggs.
Was it Zito?
No, it wasn't Zito. I cannot remember his name. I'm looking it up right now.
And also,
or you're Josh. Is Josh lagging for you?
Yeah.
Josh, should I speak?
Okay, well, as Josh takes a break.
Also, if it was fake, it could have been just between.
Josh,
Hello?
I cannot.
Hello?
I can't really hear you, Josh.
Hello.
It's really bad. Okay.
Hello. We're on the struggle bus. Connect.
All right, go.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
All right, so if it was fake, it could have been just between Pat McAfee and Adam Cole, and so it like has a more authentic feel to it. So like the other people aren't in on it.
No, but like, listen, like he was angry, bro. I'm sorry, like, especially because he was he is a WWE wrestler. Like, those people are kind of like very moody, and they get, something can piss them off very easily. And what Pat McAfee said, although I wouldn't take offense personally, some people could. When someone tells you that you're not the main part of your own success, that can rub someone the wrong way. And, I think that it was, I don't think it's a good reason to get so upset, but he definitely did. And I really don't think it was staged. If it was, I hope we figure that out, because if I keep living a lie, thinking it wasn't staged when it was, I'd be very sad.
Yeah, I hope it's real. Another fight that was announced was Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. Yeah, I got that right. Roy Jones Jr. Two great boxers from back in the day. Mike Tyson, obviously a household name. What do you guys think of this coming about and everything?
How old is Roy Jones Jr.?
I think he's probably in his 50s as well.
He's
51.
Sure? He's 51.
I don't know. Mike Tyson's a fucking lunatic. He literally bit someone's ear off. I mean, he has mental problems. Like, there's something that just does not work right in the human brain.
What's it called? Like, I don't know if that's true. I'm not gonna say it. Yeah, he's definitely not fully there. That's
sure. But I mean, good for him trying to get back out there. I think he'll win. I mean, he's fucking massive. Like, there are before and after pics of like before he started training, he was like still big, but like chubby, and now he's a fucking tank. He's like an older version of Aaron Donald. And crazy. So I mean, hopefully he doesn't get CTE or some shit. But like, I was watching a First Take thing, and Max Kellerman was like saying Muhammad Ali came back for like a couple fights when he was 46 years old. Well, like makes you think you can do it when you're 54. It was just like it's a different age, like new medicine and whatnot. I'm just a different breed. So we'll see
Yeah.
what type of breed he is.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Mike Tyson. I also saw that, and when he was asked, how do you think you can fight at this age? He was like, I can fight because he was like, I feel beautiful. He was like, when you feel as beautiful as me, you could fight too. So
his lisp is so funny.
So funny.
His interviews are the best. He's like, I'll eat your children. And I'm like, what?
Something I learned about him actually a while ago was he has an obsession with pigeons. Did you guys know that?
No.
He has over 50 pigeons living in his house.
What?
He has like cages and stuff. Like
how does
he's
he
obsessed
even
with them.
hold that?
You know what he feeds them? He feeds them Fiji water. They drink Fiji water.
That's tough.
I know.
They live in that bougie life.
They live in the bougie pigeon life.
And what's interesting is the undercard. You know, the undercard is Jake Paul, the YouTuber influencer dude, and Nate Robinson, the little short two-time NBA player, two-time dunk champion. What is – I don't know. I personally think it's kind of weird that you take, like, real boxers and then you kind of, like, debunk it by just putting, like, entertainers in it. Like, they could have gotten a huge audience by just promoting it. Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr., they didn't need this. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is not amateur boxing. You know, Mike Tyson. It's Mike Tyson.
It's
and
Mike Tyson.
That's a headline that, Eli said. It could sell out crowds or, in this case, pay-per-views. And Roy Jones Jr., who he's fighting, is also an extremely accomplished boxer, a guy who won 66 fights, 47 by KO. So an absolute monster. And when you have two really, really good vets fighting, I think everyone wants to watch that. And, as Eli said, you don't need entertainers trying to box as the undercard. I actually think it makes it look kind of illegitimate because you want to – yeah, seriously, it makes it look trashy. And Mike Tyson is not a trashy boxer. He's one of the best ever. So I think he should have, I think that's kind of disrespecting him and his craft. They should have had pro boxers in the undercard. But that's just my opinion.
I mean, Jake Paul has had a couple pro fights against other YouTubers. This is his first, I think, non-YouTuber fight, but they've been through UFC, I believe. Or whatever boxing it is.
NXT, which is like an entertaining brand.
But, like, I mean, he's like a legit boxer. Like, he actually trains. Like, yes, they're not pro boxers in the sense that that's their sole profession. Like, they can still box, and, like, it will still be an entertaining thing. And then the day,
do you really think they needed this undercard?
No, but it brings more publicity to it, and like I'm sure like maybe UFC didn't want it, but like I'm sure Jake and Nate did because it's a bigger platform, and like if they think they're actual good boxers, like what happens if it's a really good fight? Like, are you gonna be mad about it then?
Kind of. I mean, it can't be really good because they're not boxers. Like,
yeah, because they're not good boxers.
I think it's good. It's obviously good for Nate and Jake Paul, but like, I don't think it kind of discredits two real boxers.
Right. I totally agree with Eli. I mean, but this is a big break for Jake.
I guess.
Because, I mean, he's going to get much more views now, people looking at his undercard because Mike Tyson. And I think the only reason to have Jake as the undercard is if you want to add publicity. But I think with Mike Tyson, you don't need to add publicity. It makes
But it gets like a different it gets a different type of viewer.
I don't think anyone's not going to watch this Mike Tyson fight.
Yeah, what Josh is saying makes so much sense. Like, yeah, like, what's his name? Mike Tyson was from 20 years ago, and then Logan Paul's like now. I mean, Jake Paul's now, but for some reason in my mind, like, I just think anybody's gonna watch Mike Tyson. I don't know why.
Right.
I mean, I don't think there's anybody who follows sports. Like, if anybody follows Jake Paul, right, and they're gonna watch his fight, they were gonna watch Mike Tyson's fight anyway. I think there's so. I mean, I think most people. I mean, you're telling me you wouldn't watch the fight?
most people, but I'm saying like some people might be in it just to
So are you willing?
watch Jake Paul.
Are you willing to discredit kind of the professional boxer by bringing Jake Paul and Nate Robinson in for that little bit of publicity?
One, I don't think you're discrediting them, but I think Jake Paul has done enough fights to earn that credibility. And two, I think, I mean, it's like, I personally don't think it's that bad. Yes, it's discrediting those that put in their whole life into it, but, I mean, tough luck.
Yeah. Okay, let's move into my Eli's Twitter trend of the week. So Barstool Sports was kind of all over. The president, Dave Portnoy, who originally really liked, did an interview with Donald Trump. So I thought it was just a little weird just because, I mean, I feel like Barstool is just here to entertain us, make us laugh, talk about sports a little bit. When they did an interview with Trump, didn't love that. But then my guy from the Part of My Take podcast, a lot of people probably listen to it, Big Cat, one of the main guys, one of the first guys, primarily one of the first guys at Barstool, who's not really a Trump supporter but doesn't get political on the podcast or on his radio show. He came out saying, I was not told about this. I was told that I was one of the founding guys. I was one of the main guys, and I'm not being told this information regardless if I like it or not. I don't feel respected. I don't feel this. I don't feel that, which is, in my opinion, valid. If you're one of the main guys, I think you should be getting some respect on your name, having conversations come through you, that's the biggest thing that company's ever did, and it's not getting run through one of the main four people. I think that's kind of disrespectful to him just because he doesn't like the president. Like, at least tell him about it until he has to find out about it on the internet. I mean, I don't know. I didn't really like it. Did you see this?
I did not see the interview. Obviously, that must suck, like being one of the founding members and then just kind of being blindsided by your own people, not knowing what's going on in your organization. Doing an interview with Trump itself, I think, is okay because you could. I know Barstool is like more of a comedy page. They could try to turn it like into a comedic way. So I don't really know how the interview went.
It was
but
right. It was kind of
interview in itself. I don't think it's
bad. I just don't like the idea of like our sports page becoming political now. Like you've heard me talk about it off air, Josh. Like I hate how everything's political now. Like Barstool Sports are like outlet, quote unquote, is now becoming political.
Yeah. So when you say that you didn't enjoy that they interviewed him, you're saying it just because he's a president and he's a very big political figure, obviously.
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah. Okay.
So you're saying, like, regardless of who he is, you don't like that they were interviewing the president?
Like, okay, so I respected this. The Big Cat, the guy who was suspected, Big Cat, Dan something, he said that they were offered an interview with Biden, who they actually support, allegedly. They said, no, this is not us. We're sports. We're not politics. So they turned that down, but then.
So if they do it that way, then they might be trying to have a comedic effect on it then. Because, like, Biden, you can't really, like, make a lot of jokes about. Like,
You'll
Trump
probably die if you laugh too hard.
Trump's just the whole fucking.
Yeah, that's true. To be honest, I didn't watch the whole interview, but the way it sounded like, it was, like, kind of comedic and kind of just, like, a publicity stunt from Trump's side, like, to try to raise publicity. So, like, I don't know. It just seems like, why don't you just stick to sports?
Yeah.
That's like
everything is getting way too like it's annoying. Barstool now next is gonna be ESPN if they haven't already done it.
Yeah, they're always political. Like,
I mean, there's an extent. Like, I think I'm not gonna get into political opinion, but I'll say this quick thing and then what?
I take back. They're not political. They're they do the right thing, but the right thing is now a political issue.
I was gonna say something like that, but you said it better than me.
Because they support the Black Lives Matter movement that's now turned into a political issue.
Yeah, like they stand up for human rights, but then it turns into a political thing now. But
Yeah, whatever.
and we're not, whatever. So we're not getting into political, but politics. But yeah, so that's that. And Oree, last time you were on the show, you kind of failed me. I couldn't really have a say.
I know.
I really felt betrayed.
I forgot. Okay, listen.
Okay.
I forgot. Okay, so as you guys know, I have a segment, Animal Sound of the Day, and I failed Eli, as he mentioned. I forgot
You
that I
failed
was
every
supposed to
listener.
make the noise.
You failed everyone.
I guess I failed you as the listener. I'm sorry. I just want to say,
I do take some blame.
I made a mistake. Not a political mistake, but I guess you could turn this into political as well. I'm sorry. Sincerely, I'm trying to get better, and I'm going to take those first steps today. So today we have Animal Sound of the Day, and I will also be making the noise because
Let's go.
So here we go. I want you guys to tell me which animal you think this is, okay? And I will do my best to impersonate the noise. All right. So that's squeaking. Which
Hamster.
animal made that noise?
Hamster.
Hamster. Okay, Josh.
Fuck. Goat.
A goat.
Yeah.
Okay. So both of you guys are wrong. It was a frog.
Fuck. That was one of my guesses. That was actually one of my guesses.
It was a frog. They have him like by the neck, and they just tap his head, and he goes crazy. So now I will do some quick impersonations. There you go. I think that was pretty close. I do what the people want, and there you go. I will not forget.
A step in the right direction.
I'm learning, I'm growing as a person, and
I accept your apology. I don't know if the viewer does, but I do accept your apology.
Thank you very much. You can let us know if you accept my apology at our Instagram, which I don't know.
Underdog.podcast. We have a new logo too that we posted on there. New logo has a little goose on it.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sick.
Pretty sick. Goose is me, by the way, if you guys didn't know.
Yeah, Goose, Oree, yeah. And maybe you should invest in us. Speaking of which, Josh got his stocks going.
Yeah, so first I would like to say me and Eli caught a quick Warzone dub today.
Oh, that's good, man.
And we forgot to put this in early in the podcast, so if you guys are a listener in this late, thank you, one, for listening. Please. And two, we had 12 total team kills.
That's all I got.
Eli had 0. Eli had 0. I had all 12. But
no way.
It's a team effort.
Team effort. I didn't.
But from that, I will be moving into my stocks of the week, as we can say.
Hey, on the last one, you said that you were still setting up the account. You got it set up, right?
Yeah, so I got it set up. I got my money transferred finally. And I invested into a couple stocks. I don't want to bore you guys with all the stocks I'm invested in. I probably have like 5, I think. So I put in 150, starting from there. And I did it on Friday, so it's only been like one day because like the stock market's closed on the weekends. So the two stocks I want to talk about and my thinking behind them. So my first one is EA. So that's a bigger stock. So I put like a fractional share in where you can put like dollars worth. So I put in $21 because Madden 21 is about to drop. So that's actually the reason that I
21 and 21.
Yeah, so I actually put in stock money into that stock because Madden's about to drop, so that they will obviously get more money off of that, so their profit will rise when Madden drops and starts coming. So that'll be mid-August. And then my other stock, my main stock, is VBI Vaccines, which is a vaccine company that mostly focus on hepatitis B type stuff, but they also have COVID-related issues or vaccines, I guess. So they've been on the rise, and well, this past week they've been going down, but they're for the most part on the rise, and their COVID testing just passed their like last phase or whatever. So they're in like phase 3 out of however many there are. So that's good news. That will be rising up, and also their hepatitis B vaccine or whatever is approved in Israel and is going through patent approval or something in the U.S. and Canada. So if that gets approved, that will also go up. So I got 6 shares at like $5.20 a share with that company. So yeah, those are my stocks of the week, and I'll keep you guys updated on that as we go.
Let's go. All right, close off the show. We got a top three rap duos in the game right now. Josh, get us started with your third.
My number 3, Kyle and Lil Yachty. So this is a weird pick. Eli was confused when I had this. So they had the song I Spy and Hey Julie. And so I was just thinking of some artists that like had 2 bangers together, and those are both bangers. So those are in my duos list. They're
not a bad thought process. That thought process is pretty good. All right. So most of the segments I pick, so like I automatically have like what I think would fit them. So I want, if you guys come with more segments. Oh, Josh, this is not to close off the show. We have a movie review after this. I forgot about that. But so my third is Uzi and Cardi. Lil Uzi Vert and Playboi Carti. They're a classic duo. Have not put out much good music recently. Cardi especially has not put out any good music recently. But Shoota, they had some great songs back in the day. I think what's
you
the song called?
You might know it from TikTok.
Yeah, which pisses me off, but really pisses me off actually. I hate the songs.
Think of my bestie.
Oh my god, I might have to talk to my friend. He owns a record label. Definitely would want to sign Josh. Lovely vocal.
For sure. Where is this song? Damn it, I can't find it right now. But there's a lot of good songs between the two of them. And Josh, what's your number 2?
Does Oree have a list?
Nah, Oree's not.
I'm not hip to that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So I kind of have like a 2-in-1 combo. So I have Lil Baby or Roddy with anyone. They do a lot of features, and they're very good artists. And whether they're the main artist or they're the featured artist, they always make bangers. And so those are my 2-in-1 combo for number 1, I guess.
Let me add to the list of those type of people before I get into my real one. Drake, I think, falls in that category that can just duo with anyone.
Right.
I guess Uzi, but I think Uzi, and then I can't think of. Oh, and you said Lil Baby, right? Yeah, Lil Baby, go with anybody. But my number 2 is Future and Juice WRLD. Kind of a hot take. They released an album together, which is actually a sick album. I don't think many people got that much hype. But supposedly they made this whole album in one studio session, which is ridiculous. But it was a really good album, in my opinion. Probably his third best. I think it's not called High of Life. That's the new, the album. The new Future album that dropped May 13th, I think. But this Juice WRLD album is called World on Drugs. So that album is really good. And then my number 1 is Gunna and Baby. Gunna and Baby since 2018 are so good. Gunna and Baby are sick.
I thought you hate Gunna.
I don't love Gunna, especially new Gunna. But you put Gunna on a feature, you give him a good feature, or you pair him up with Baby, and they go hard. They go
talking about albums where they are
what?
duos. Talking about albums that are duos. Travis Scott and Cactus Jack. One of Travis Scott's first albums, I think it actually was called Cactus Jack.
Do you know who Cactus Jack is?
Some rapper, I'm not actually sure who. But they would duo. No, it's someone else. That's his nickname now.
Nickname, Josh.
No, Eli, trust me. I was listening to Spotify, and it says it's like featured with it.
Josh, Cactus Jack is
Nope.
Travis Scott.
Sure.
Cactus Jack
finding
is the
it.
record deal. Look,
Cactus Jack.
That's his stuff. I will find it.
Josh, Cactus Jack is Travis Scott.
Cactus Jack is the record label.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh, it was
Looper.
Huncho Jack.
That's
Huncho
also
Jack.
Travis Scott.
No.
Who?
It is Huncho Jack.
Huncho Jack.
Huncho.
Huncho
That's
Jack.
not Travis.
Yes, it is.
All right, Travis Scott and Quavo then. Travis Scott and Quavo.
Okay, there you go. That's a good one.
God, gotta ruin the mood.
Well, if you're naming the same dude and you're saying they're a duo, that's
Yo, Travis Scott,
Technically are
hard
duos,
Travis Scott.
so the best trio. Travis Scott, Cactus Jack, and Huncho Jack. They go ham.
Not wrong.
They go ham.
I mean,
Oh my
technically,
God.
everyone
That
technically
goes hard,
did,
bro.
so.
All right.
On to the movie review.
On to the movie review. So I told Josh last week, or was on the pod, so he didn't watch it, but you have to watch it this week because you guys. Okay, I'll just get it. So we watched The Kissing Booth. Or have you seen this? No. So you'll have to watch that this week. But so me and Josh watched it. We'll give a little review on it.
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
They made a second one that just came out a couple days ago, so we'll watch that in a couple days. And then they just announced a third one.
No way.
Yeah, a ton
Is that good?
For you. We'll talk about it. Josh, what are your original opinions after watching this movie, The Kissing Booth?
So, it's a very weird movie. I mean, it's entertaining, but it's very, very cheesy and, like, very stupid as well. Like, not stupid, haha, funny, like, comedies. It's just, like, stupid.
Like, the acting's kind of weird.
Yeah, just, like, the lines and just, like, how it's written. I mean, it's not a bad movie, like, overall, like, it's not like a movie I'd be like, oh my God, I need to watch that. Like, it's like a very mediocre movie. It doesn't have anything, like, going for it. Also, the girl, not to spoil anything, is supposed to be a junior. And when I first saw it, I thought she was a freshman, so that was very confusing to me. Meanwhile, her boyfriend's supposed to be a senior, and he looks like
out of college.
25. And also, there's, like, at least a good 1.5 difference between the two.
Yeah.
So it's, like, very just weird stuff happening. But go watch it. Comment, DM us on Insta what you guys think. But that was, I mean, it was fine. It was a very interesting movie, to say the least. But, yeah, we'll see how the second one is.
Yeah, so I thought it was decent. I watched it a little while ago. It's super cheesy, and it kind of just makes you cringe sometimes. But for some reason, I feel like it's similar to Outer Banks, how it just kind of, like, hooks you, whether it's relatable or whatever, and it's kind of just good. Like, I liked watching it. I don't know why. But I actually watched the second one. I'm not going to give my review on it yet, but I will say the second one is better than the first one. So I think we'll give Oree this until Wednesday when we record our next podcast to watch it. You have Netflix?
I'll watch both.
No, just watch one. Oh, yeah, you can watch both, I guess.
Yeah.
If you don't get around to it, then we'll just do the 2 pods. In 2 pods, we'll review the second one. And yeah,
Wait, so out of 10, what do you guys give it?
That's Josh, go first.
What are we saying? Like a 10 is? Like, give me an example.
10 is like the best
Star
movie you've
Wars.
ever seen.
I don't know. Well, 10's your favorite movie. 10's your favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
All right, I'd give it like a 5.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's watchable, but it's not like anywhere close to a good movie that I'd like want to watch again.
Yeah, I'd give it a 5.
Is this a movie you would recommend to others?
Depends on the audience.
Yeah, like I feel like it's definitely more towards the female audience. Like I feel like girls
Yeah.
would definitely like it more than guys.
But I don't know. I kind of liked it. I don't know.
I mean,
I
that
mean, it
means
was
Jack would love it.
entertaining, but
I don't know. But I don't know why they're making 3. The second one was actually better. But I don't know why
did it
they're making
end on like a
3.
weird note?
The second one does end on a note where there could be a third one, but like, I
The
think it's
first
kind of
one, like
pushing
I'm
it.
surprised they even made a second. Like the first one was ended on a fine note, and they could have just stopped
Well,
it there.
I don't want to spoil anything, but they're separated, so they kind of need to figure that out. You know what I mean? Not trying to spoil too much, but all right. I think that's the pod. I think we might have ran kind of long on this one. Not fully sure. Any last words from you boys?
Stay safe. Good night. It's already 2:03. I need
For
some
us,
sleep.
not for the listener.
That is true.
I mean,
2 or
hey,
3
you never know.
for us.
All right. Heading out from your favorite pop culture drama podcast. Peace.
Underdog.
Before we move on, I'd like to give a quick ad read to Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast, and let me explain. It's free. Their creation tools allow you to use to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, and it will be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money on your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.